Now, for the Democratic and Republican frontrunners, of course, tonight is about spreading the distance between them and their closest competitors.
So let's head back to our panel as Channel 2's John Pruitt continues our live Team 2 coverage in studio with some expert analysis of what's happening on this Super Tuesday.
Thank you. Brian Robertson rejoins us, and Bill Crane, Channel 2 political analyst, is here. Bill, let's start with you. What are you seeing tonight? Is this going to be a complete sweep by Donald Trump on the Republican side?
That was what everyone was forecasting, but it's looking like instead that there's pickoffs, like an anti-Trump insurgency, if you will, but spread, unfortunately, among 4 or 5 candidates, none of them dominant. You have John Kasich doing very well in the Northeast. You have Marco Rubio doing well in Virginia. Over in Minnesota looks good for the caucus tonight, and gaining ground here in Georgia as the Metro vote starts to come in. And then to the best state of the night for Donald Trump will probably be Alabama. And then when you go west, Ted Cruz is winning in Texas. Looks like he may make it in Oklahoma. So Donald Trump may end up with, of the 12 states, and Alaska's the last one to come in, 7 or 8, which is still a very good night. But when you look at the proportional spread of the delegates, he probably will end up with less than half. If he's in that 30 to 40% threshold he's stayed in, 2/3 of those delegates don't go to Donald Trump.
If Cruz wins Texas and Oklahoma, does that give him the right to claim he is the alternative to Donald Trump?
That's certainly going to be what they say. That's why it's very important for Rubio to sneak out a win in Virginia and Minnesota. That way they have some countervailing narratives, and Rubio would be heading strong into Florida, his home state. Now, polls have shown him trailing Trump in Florida, but the Rubio campaign feels very confident that they're going to close that gap. I think you're going to see...
It's a pretty big gap.
It's a big gap, but I think you're going to see Marco Rubio camp out in Florida for the next 2 weeks, much like Hillary Clinton did in Nevada for a week before that caucus.
He's not 2 more debates.
He's not getting that Jeb Bush endorsement that he needs in Florida.
Doesn't look like the governor's going to come off the dime on that.
And you've got John...
Though Jeb Bush...
I don't know what that brings.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
well, 2% of the vote in Georgia tonight, Jeb Bush's money, his super PAC and his donors appear to be lining up with Marco Rubio.
Absolutely.
Which, if you have to pick one, the 1.2% of the vote or the money, I think I'd go with the money.
That's a lot of money. And then you have John Kasich, who's not much of a factor tonight, but with Ohio and Michigan coming up, he could close the gap significantly. So you have this problem of those who don't want to see Donald Trump as the nominee,
but none of them are
one's
willing to
getting out of the
including
race.
Ben Carson, none of them are willing to get out.
Yeah.
And that ultimately may be why Donald Trump does win the nomination. If they can't consolidate the field and really get it down to a 2-person, 3-person race, he can't be stopped.